Well, this Sunday we were in Genesis chapter 26. And this is the only chapter in the entire book of Genesis that really highlights the second of four major characters of Genesis, Isaac. Though Isaac is mentioned obviously as the son of promise, he's included in the part of the narrative that primarily deals with Abraham and Sarah. Even though Isaac is the one who is about to be sacrificed at God's command by his father Abraham, God supplies a substitute in the ram, as a ram caught in the thicket. And he does not intend for Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, but only is testing Abraham's heart. Yet Isaac is a passive character even in that part of the narrative. It's not until we get to Genesis chapter 6 where we see Isaac, as an adult, he's married to Rebekah by this point, take a very active role in the narrative. It's at this chapter that God communicates directly with Isaac, and he reiterates his promises that he previously made to Abraham. Now God is making directly to Isaac as Abraham's son. You see, there was a famine in the land, and Isaac may have been tempted to go out of the land of Canaan, the land that God had promised him, perhaps even down to Egypt. But God appears to him and says, "No, this is your land. Stay here. I will take care of you." Well, that promise is about to be challenged, if you will, by Isaac's actions. While in that land, and the particular area he was staying in was the land of the Philistines, he was fearful for his own life because Rebekah was beautiful. Obviously, he had great wealth with the amount of people that were in his household at that point, and also the flocks and herds that he kept. And she would have been a very valuable asset to marry into by another family who lived in that land. Let's increase our wealth together. Let's intermarry and so on. So Isaac was fearful for his life. We see a little bit of a lack of faith here that the God that just made this promise to him to give him this land could pull it off. And yet God is not thwarted in carrying out his promises. He intercedes for the integrity of the covenant by a chance meeting by King Abimelech, the king of the Philistines in this area, happening to see from a distance Isaac and Rebekah interacting in such a way that King Abimelech was sure these are not brother and sister, this is husband and wife. You see, Isaac's plan in coming into the country to remain safe was to say, Rebekah is not my wife, she's my sister, just as his father Abraham had done both in Egypt and with this same king Abimelech just a generation earlier when Abimelech was much younger. But God allows that ruse to be seen. And Abimelech, remembering his experience with Abraham, commands all of the men to that area that you should not touch neither Isaac nor Rebekah. And they were able to live peaceably in an adjacent land in a valley near where the Philistines were encamped. God protects his covenant even when the recipients of the covenant may, due to a lack of faith or a lack of wisdom, put that covenant in jeopardy. God protects his promises. God is faithful to fulfill his promises. And what he is doing in the meantime, in demonstrating that he's more powerful, that he is faithful to his covenant, he is developing the faith of Isaac. Isaac may not have thought that God was a strong enough or big enough God to protect him from these people who did not fear God. And so Isaac's faith in a covenant-keeping God is increased. God does the same thing with us all the time in that he allows life circumstances and the uncertainty of the future and our inability to have all of the answers about what lies ahead and the potentialities of future circumstances to cause us to question, what path should I take? How do I trust God? Can God provide for me in the future when I think of my circumstances being very difficult? And God allows these circumstances so that our faith can be increased as he shows himself faithful to us, to give us the strength, to give us wisdom, to help us to be patient, to endure through a process. And all the while, God revealing himself to us in bigger and greater ways, thus increasing our faith and increasing our knowledge of exactly what kind of God we serve. How is God doing that in your life potentially today? What circumstances are before you that if you just had all the information, might be an easy choice as to how to handle your future? Yet God is, by design, giving you some limited information, and he's asking you to trust him, asking you to step out in reckless faith to serve him, even though we don't have all the answers as to the outcome of a future situation that's happening to us in our life. The story of Isaac should compel us that God is a faithful God who will keep his promises, who will never leave us nor forsake us. The story of Isaac should compel us to walk in increased faith, allow our faith to grow as we trust God. This upcoming Sunday, Pastor Christian is going to be giving a guest message, a special message. Martha and I are going to be out of town the rest of this week. We'll be here on Sunday, but we're going to enjoy Christian's teaching. So we'll see you this upcoming Sunday at 10:30.